The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. All in all, the Savior, the Protector, the Unifier, the Messiah, the King of Kings, the most loved. Captain Ibrahim Traore has finally responded to ECOWAS, because all that we know the ECOWAS community does best is to sit down and always talk about how they will bring constitutional rule to everywhere, regardless of what these democratic elected leaders are doing. They don't care whether you are looting, because all of them are in the same shoe. They don't care whether your citizens are losing their lives. All that matters is the oppressor rule to continue to exist. That is one thing all in all decided to walk away from, because they said this organization is not in the interest of Africa. So Captain Ibrahim Traore responded to these people and told them that leadership is not about following one model, which is the oppressor's model. Leadership is about something significant. So Captain Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso constructed a 327-kilometer road without loan. According to him, this is the best thing that we can do as Africans. The ECOWAS should understand that sitting in their meetings to call for democratic rules without accountability isn't the best. Borrowing from one place to the other and making life harder for their citizens isn't what is needed. And they should make sure that they will do everything possible to change the narrative in Africa, because we have all that it takes. And this one, he has already provided the engineers, the equipment, everything that is needed for this work to kick off has been provided.
Launch of construction work on the Ouagadougou Highway, under the very high patronage of His Excellency, the moderate Ibrahim Traore, President of Faso. Head of State, the Presidential FASO Initiative. Mebo will proceed on Tuesday, December 16, 2025. The launch of construction work on Bobo Dioulasso, along by the people. Burkinabe, the beginning of the work of this important infrastructure, is the materialization of the will and commitment of our country. The necessary levers to boost its economic and social development. Real belt of transmission between the political capital and the economic Ouagadougou Bobo is the symbol of the resilience and combativity of a people decided to build his reign under the leadership of Captain Traore, population of Ouagadougou, sons and daughters of Burkina Faso. All this Tuesday, December 16, in Yimbi from 14 o'clock, to witness the launch of the work of the Ouagadougou ambassador. Soulful. The launch of this army of 4x2 is a very ambitious project, and it won't be just that. We want to reach all the regional leaders through ambassadors. So see who made the project Yakukudugu. That we wanted to launch this year, I told them, so wait and turn it into a 2x2 warning. So, it is a vision we have in terms of road infrastructure. It's not going to trample as soon as it's launched. Here we go. So if the night doesn't fall in a few moments, they will continue with the machines, and it will be 24 out of 24. There is no deadline. I want them to be as fast as possible. We have to go to an infernal rhythm, and this is important, and it is financed by our own funds. So which means that I have already asked the financials to provide 2026 minimum 200 billion that will be injected into it. And any person who can contribute in a way that continues to contribute, because there are accounts the villages that are open that we invite everyone to give theirs, because there are many things that can be brought even by important mill or participate in the construction of the road, so it won't trample on the ambition, is that each regional capital is so joined to each other by eggs themselves. If it's not 4x2 eggs, twice, this is the objective of Ouagadougou, to the regional and regional leaders among themselves. So from this day on, that the bubbles will finish the earthworks, they will proceed to another site immediately. So the pace will be accelerated because other tournaments are on their way. Radii. As I told you that we are 2 commas away, 1 kilometer from the bypass to allow makes it a fluidity at the exit of the cities to eliminate these problems of traffic jams and accidents. Excellence. The fauna and flora are also important elements for us. Burkinabe, and we know that we have many animals, many elephants whose underpasses have been planned for these elephants. and many other animals. There are also buses to allow water to flow from the water, as well as to these animals to follow the air current and to feel in their natural biotope excellence. You are not without knowing that the comfort of the roads pass by also the development of the areas de rest areas that constitute, in fact, un ensemble de parking de stations-service, de bornes de recharge. With the entry into the electric vehicle market, but also of all that is how it looks like police rescue and intervention services. The girl receives herself at high speed us. We also have, as I told you previously, in Table 2 of the motorway interchanges, allowing access. You see all the signage that goes with the project that follows directly from toll booths to allow a better exploitation of this project and the maintenance running these years in the is expected to bear all estimated costs at about 80,000 vehicles per day with breakdowns, limited to 7%, to allow heavyweights not having to put a lot of energy into starting, but also, as I told you, all EC, that is underpass, overpass review and design standards, to finish excellence. We will note that the construction of a highway is to build a link between the regions, a promise of the future, and also an unparalleled economic prosperity for an entire nation. I thank you, Excellence. Thank you, Excellence. Ka-ka, 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 ka-ka. And kehachi kehana kehoch. Kurugie biro. I don't think you could move, but you would have to be a fool to go with somebody else. The launch of this epidemic 4 times. 2 is a very ambitious project, and it won't be just that. We want to reach all the regional capitals by highways. So see who made the project Ouagadougou. That we wanted to launch this year, I told them, so wait and turn it into a 2x2 warning. So it is a vision we have in terms of road infrastructure. It's not going to trample as soon as it's launched. Here we go. So if the night does not fall in a few moments, they will continue with the machine, and it will be 24 out of 24. There is no deadline. I want it to be as fast as possible, because we have to go to an infernal rhythm, and that it is important, and it is financed by our own funds, which means that I have already told the Minister of Finance to provide minimum 200 billion that will be injected into it. And any person who can contribute in a mere way continues to contribute, because there are accounts that are open too, and the villages that invite everyone to give their own, because there are many things that can be brought, even by important of the mill OR participate in the construction of the road, so it will not trample on the ambition, is that each chief place of region is so joined to each other by eggs themselves. If it's not 4 times 2 eggs, twice. This is the objective of Ouagadougou, towards the regional leaders among themselves. So from this day that the bubbles will finish the earthwork, the hard work, they will proceed to another site immediately. So the rhythm will be accelered, because other tournaments are on their way.
ECOWAS is sitting down, looking for loans from one place to the other to construct things of the sort. And this is the first time we are seeing this kind of road constructed in Africa without any loan. or without any foreign assistance. Because even if we are to construct a 100-kilometer road, we need to go and be begging, borrowing, and we'll give out our resources forever and ever for that 100 kilometers of road. But Captain Ibrahim Traore is saying that all these things must stop because we have all that it takes to make Africa a better place. So there is no need for us to continue to be moving from one place to the other to be borrowing, because the African is capable of managing his own affairs. And this is a very strong message to ECOWAS. These are the things that ECOWAS needs to learn. But ECOWAS, because we have leaders in this organization, like all in all said, that isn't in the interest of the people, do not want to move with Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. Like always I say, light and darkness can never move together. The part of ECOWAS is not to bring development, it's not to change anything, but to give way to the oppressor. And that is the reason to which the oppressors will always do everything possible in their power to make sure that democracy runs through Africa. So through that system, they can continue to have their way in Africa. That there is no need for them to continue to be chasing after democracy without chasing development. We need to develop our own selves without falling on other people to do it for us. What is the essence of democracy in Africa when democracy isn't changing anything? Under that same system, we are seeing that we are moving backwards. Our resources are moving out of the continent. We cannot create jobs. We are seeing unemployment everywhere. Our vegetations are destroying. We are seeing how leaders are changing the constitution to remain in office. Yet this organization is doing nothing, but rather rises to fight leaders who have risen to make sure that all these bad things that are happening comes to an end. And a better Africa we are looking for. So ECOWAS, you need to learn from Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. There is no need for you to be talking about democracy, because we the people in Africa, we have lost trust in that your democracy. Ever since we started practicing democracy, we haven't seen any change in Africa. And that is why all in all, Captain Ibrahim Traore said, we are no longer in a democratic era, but rather in a revolutionary era, because we need to move away from that system that is not making us develop. We need to move away from that corrupt system that is giving us leaders who are not doing anything into a better system that can provide us with better leadership, so we can see a change in Africa, so that Africans will stop dying on the Mediterranean Sea in order to look for greener pastures, because we have all that it takes. Our leaders do not care about the lives of their people. All that matter to them is the leaders who will come and be in office and continue to be looting in order to please the oppressor. And this is not what we are after. And just a few people in Africa cannot determine the fate of these 1.something billion people. We have reason to say no to democracy, because we have seen that it is that system that is not making the African to move forward. So we need our freedom, we need a break from this system, so we can get ourselves leaders that will work in the interest of the African. Why should we continue to be exporting our resources in the raw form? Why should we continue to have leaders in Africa that is not allowing us to exercise our democratic rights? Because we have countries that ban even their citizens from protesting, yet you call this democracy. We have seen that that system called democracy in Africa is protecting only the people that are elected and not us, the citizens. And that is why we are rising against this leadership, and we are standing with Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world, in Africa, West Africa, and in Burkina Faso.